Welcome to This Explainer, proudly brought to you by Forge College. I'm your host, and today we're rolling out the blueprints. Literally, if you look at this beautiful minimalist ink-on-paper schematic we've got going on, to tackle our capstone project, the merchant front-end and Solana Pay USD checkout. This is a critical piece of our stablecoins, payments, and real-world assets module. If you've ever wondered how Web3 payments actually work under the hood without bursting into digital flames, you are in the exact right place. We're going to map out the exact integration needed to take a buyer's digital dollars and securely land them in your merchant account. So grab your hard hats. Here is our assembly line for today. We'll review the blueprint, wire up the storefront, execute the wallet handshake, verify the delivery mathematically, run a devnet test, and finally, prep for real-world assets.
Welcome to the blueprint.
So in our previous session, we hammered out the capstone architecture and implementation plan. Right now, we are intentionally isolating the front-end checkout. Why do that? Well, because building the checkout first lets us test the cryptographic flow entirely on its own before we wire up the really complex real-world asset logic later on. We want to be absolutely sure the money moves perfectly before we start handing over digital keys to a house.
The entire heartbeat of this operation relies on the Solana Pay URI. You can think of a Solana Pay URI like a highly specific shipping label that tells the blockchain exactly who gets the digital dollars and exactly how many. Instead of a buyer manually copying your wallet address and hoping they type in the right amount of USDC, this standardized request packages the recipient, the specific token mint, the exact amount, and a unique reference code into one incredibly clean, machine-readable format.
Section 2. Wiring the storefront. Take a look at this minimalist engineering setup. Our structural foundation relies on just 4 simple files to build our React storefront. We have our root React app, our main app.jsx file for the user interface, a dedicated solanapay.js file to handle the heavy listing of the payment requests, and our trusty.env file for environment variables. Keep your logic separated like this, and I promise your life will be so much easier.
And speaking of that .env file, you've got to ensure your environment variables accurately reflect the test USDC mint and the merchant token accounts you provisioned previously. I always like to say, happy little engineering accidents are still accidents. Sending test USDC into the digital void because you copy-pasted the wrong public key is basically a developer rite of passage, but let's try our best to avoid it, all right?
Wiring the user interface requires just 3 straightforward steps to give the buyer a physical point of interaction. We build a simple product card, we add an asynchronous pay with USDC button, and we set up some basic state tracking for the checkout status. This isn't just about making things look pretty on screen, it's about perfectly orchestrating the exact moment the user signals their intent to purchase.
Section 3. The wallet handshake. Inside our Solana Pay utility file, we assemble what's called a transfer checked instruction. And guys, this is vastly superior to a standard transfer. A transfer checked instruction acts like a secure envelope, safely moving exactly the right amount while mathematically verifying the token decimals. For USDC, that's typically 6 decimals. This ensures the buyer doesn't accidentally send a knockoff token or some weird fractional amount. It is literal built-in quality control.
Now here is the absolute crucial point. Generating and attaching a unique reference key per checkout is the only way you can match an on-chain payment to an off-chain order. Imagine running a coffee shop where people just chuck $5 bills at the counter, but you have no idea who ordered the latte versus the espresso. That unique reference key is your order number. It's a non-signer account attached to the transaction so that when you look at the blockchain later, you know exactly which shopping cart that payment belongs to.
We orchestrate a 4-step handshake, where the browser wallet, like a friendly phantom, steps in to securely sign the transaction bytes. We fetch their public key, build that transfer instruction we just talked about, grab the latest block hash from devnet to prove the transaction is recent, and finally, we hand it over to the wallet to sign and send. The user gets a nice little pop-up, they click approve, and boom, off it goes into the network.
Section 4. Verifying the delivery. This is where the RPC, or Remote Procedure Call, comes into play. You can think of querying the devnet RPC as demanding a digital delivery receipt from the blockchain. We are actively polling the network, asking, hey, did that transaction with our unique reference key make it into a block yet? Is it completely finalized?
And here is a pro tip that truly separates the amateurs from the experts. Parsing the transaction instruction on the left side is good. It shows the structure was correct. but verifying the actual token account balances changed on the right provides the ultimate mathematical guarantee that the payment arrived. Don't just trust that the instruction ran. Verify that your merchant token account balance actually went up.
Section 5. DevNet Test Run.
This is hands down one of my favorite parts of the learning programs at Forge College, where the money is fake, but the Web3 learning is very real. Check off these 5 functional milestones on DevNet, and you'll know your mechanical checkout flow is operating flawlessly. You want the wallet prompt pop-up, the signature string returned, the RPC to confirm it, those balances to shift, and finally, your storefront UI to proudly display paid. Hit all 5 of those, and you've successfully built a decentralized checkout.
Notice the exact on-chain state change we want to observe here. Perfect financial symmetry between the buyer and the merchant. The buyer's associated token account goes down by the exact amount the merchant's receiving account goes up. It is a beautiful, trustless transfer of value, verified completely by cryptography rather than a centralized bank.
Section 6. Preparing for RWAs.
So now that we have a highly reliable merchant hook that detects a settled payment, how do we use it to issue actual real-world entitlements? Because a payment is great, but in modern Web3 applications, a payment is usually just a trigger for a much larger automated process.
In the upcoming module, we're going to utilize Token 2022 transfer hooks to intercept these verified payments and execute downstream real-world asset bookkeeping. Imagine buying a tokenized fraction of real estate using this exact USDC checkout we just built, and having the transfer hook automatically update the property's digital registry the very second the payment clears. That is exactly where we are heading.
Before we wrap up, a quick piece of homework for you. Make sure to generate and save a few successful DevNet transaction signatures. Run the flow end-to-end at least 3 times. These signatures will be absolutely critical testing inputs for the next stage when we validate our transfer hook behavior. Just save them in a notepad.
We've successfully laid the foundation today. But ask yourself this: if a few lines of code can instantly execute a trustless transaction globally, what happens when we attach those payments to cars, houses, or energy grids? Are we just upgrading checkouts, or are we entirely replacing the global financial plumbing? To unlock these new economic models and dive deeper into applied protocols, make sure to visit forge.college and keep building your knowledge with us. Thanks for joining me on this explainer made by Forge College. I'll see you in the next one.